in the Western Conference. We know Stephen Curry will be out for the remainder of this road trip, as well as Seth Curry. Al Horford will be reevaluated after the road trip, but Draymond Green will be back after missing 2 games. Of course, against Minnesota Friday night, and last night against the New York Knicks, DeAnthony Melton also available. Quentin Post, who I thought played very good last night, he's out, as well as LJ Cryer. Good news is Porzingis is available.
Yeah, there we go.
That's some good news. Yeah. Draymond, Porzingis, Melton.
There we go.
Musical chairs here at the Golden State Warriors.
I know it's really a tough position for Steve Kerr to be in because you're playing a lot of nights without your guys, and when some guys are playing, they're playing with minutes restrictions. I mean, Kristaps Porzingis' return is going to be huge for the Warriors. Him just being able to fit into this lineup, fit into this team, be healthy, and get his rhythm back. That for the Warriors is one of the biggest storylines, and it's really going to determine if the Warriors and Steph Curry's coming back is going to help them make a run in the postseason. His size, rim protection, versatility on the offensive end, all those things are some of the things the Warriors are missing in the way that he can really impact this team.
Yeah, I thought last night the entire active roster gave incredible effort and energy. Just didn't have enough to finish that game last night in Madison Square Garden. Tonight, a little role reversal. It's up to veterans to bring the energy. DeAnthony Melton, Draymond Green, Kristaps Porzingis, they're the rested group. So they need to set the tone tonight and lift up the guys that played big minutes last night and get this win in Washington.
Yeah, no doubt last night, that second quarter really did the Warriors in. Up 21 points, they were rolling. They blow that lead and go into the half up 9, where the Knicks really should have been down 20, and that's where the game flipped there. But they held their own in the second half. You saw a lot of good contributions from Guy Santos, Brandin Podziemski, Quentin Post, of course, as we take a look at our teamwork in action. And it's all about the 3 Ps. That's right. Gary Payton II, Brandin Podziemski, and Quentin Post. Now, GP2's played really well over his last 15 games, averaging over 11 points a game, 53.5% from the floor, 32.5% from the three-point line. He was hooping last night. Podz, his last 7, averaging nearly 20 a game to go along with 7 rebounds and 5 assists, 43% from the floor, 43%, I should say, from the three-point line, 47.5% from the floor. So we won't see Post tonight after 22 points as we welcome in the great KB, Kerr Burke. She also has an Emmy. And Petaluma's finest, Dalton Johnson. Welcome to the squad here. The 3 Ps last night, playing good at the world's most famous arena at Madison Square Garden. Hopefully they could continue that, but good building blocks here moving forward over the next 15.
Yeah, I feel like I'm pitching a show. How about the 3 Ps and Guy with 20? With 20 points, the 3 Ps and Guy. I'll give the idea to the Warriors there. But yeah, when we're talking about Podz and Post and Payton, especially for Podz and Post, they had the fast start in that first quarter, kind of knocked the Knicks back to say, whoa, 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 what's happening here against the Warriors, who were heavy underdogs.
Yeah, GP2 was like the cherry on top to the 3 Ps, right? Scoring 19 of the bench's 33 points for the reserves, leading the way, tied a season high of 19 points, made 3 3-pointers for the 4th time this season. But as you said, Kerr, the strong start was really all about Brandin Podziemski and Quentin Post. When I look at Quentin Post, number 1, he was toughing it out, being questionable on the injury report with the left ankle sprain. And for him, this was a huge opportunity. With no Al Horford, no Kristaps Porzingis, he does a career high in minutes, shot attempts, shots made, and points. More importantly, 4 made 3-pointers. In his previous 6 games he played combined, he made 4 3-pointers. The 3-point shot is key for Quentin Post as a stretch 5. Then Brandin Podziemski, who was going to be the alpha with such a short team that the Warriors had, so thin that the Warriors had, and that was Brandin Podziemski. Back-to-back 25-point games. He has now scored at least 22 points in 4 of his last 7 games. So I think that these are just ample opportunities for some of these young guys. Did I love BP's late 3? Wasn't my favorite shot choice, but I think overall, when he was aggressive going downhill and under control, a strong game from Brandin Podziemski and Quentin Post. You want to see these young guys take advantage of these opportunities in front of them.
Lots of shot clock left on that shot. But when you consider the game that Pod had, because he's serious about being the captain of this team while Steph is out, also while Jimmy is out, Podz has been really affected by these changes, but he's doing his best to step into it, take on a bigger role, and try to get something going with the offense. Maybe his decision late in the game is something you guys want to talk about, because the rest of the NBA has certainly been talking about that too.
Yeah, locally as well, 25, 6, and 5 for Podz, but everybody remembers a missed 3-point shot for 23.7 seconds last night, and we'll discuss it in just a second here. You see it quickly, Fezzi. Podz coming up. He's going for the jugular here. It's a good shot. He's rolling. Probably a little early, but I can't be mad at it.
Bonte, I'm okay with this decision. I might not be okay with the shot quality, but for a young star and a young guy, this is confident, this is fearless. This is just trying to understand that it's more about game management than it is about trying to go for the kill.
Let's hear from Steve Kerr. We'll get your thoughts on the other side, Mully, as we hear from head coach on Podz's decision to shoot that three with 24 seconds.
Loved it. Didn't want to call timeout. I wanted to play in flow. He had Brunson on him. He looked like he was going to attack. Brunson backed up, and I love it. Take the three, go for the throat.
Coach, Coach Mully, as we hear from DJ here, they're still discussing the shot. Everybody's talking about the shot. What do you think about what Steve Kerr said, defended his player, and what do you think about the play itself?
I thought it was an in-rhythm, open shot. Just like Steve said, Brunson gave him a lot of room because Brunson's not the quickest defender. When he jabbed, when Podz made that first dribble towards to get by him, he backed up, rhythm shot. This backs up my contention, Bonte and Festus. You shoot open shots in rhythm. That's the shots you take. They're high-quality, high-percentage shots. The Warriors repeatedly are yielded wide-open shots to their role players. When they turn them down, what I always tell you, you got to take those shots. You got to make them, make the defense pay, and change the scouting report. So all these players that are having good games now, maintain that aggressiveness when Steph Curry gets back. That's what's going to help Steph Curry more than anything, is his teammates being aggressive and make sure the defense honors them. That was a fine shot. We saw when they called timeout and tried to run a set play, they turned it over. The NBA in offensive basketball is all about shooting open, high-quality shots. And when you're shorthanded and you don't have your vets out there, you're not quite sure what kind of shot you're going to get. Most coaches like to play in rhythm, as Steve Kerr says. You get a stop, the best shots are in the open floor, and you got to leave it up to your players to make the proper decisions. Podz gets by Brunson, yeah, go lay the ball in. Brunson backed up, he shot a nice wide open rhythm three-point shot that he's more than capable of making. There's the flip side. You call a timeout, not only do you have to execute your play, you give the Knicks a chance to get their defense set. So playing against an unset defense in rhythm, I live with that shot 100 times out of 100.
When you're the only reliable scorer on the floor, like, you have to look at the game through his eyes. I love that Mully just showed y'all that, right? Jalen Brunson backs up, he goes for the shot, goes for the kill. With that late game shot creation, you got to think about context. You got to think about what his legs are, what he's feeling in that moment. You got to go about with trust in the flow of the game. I love the fact that he took that shot. I would rather teach confidence. That's a teachable moment for a young player, understanding that, yeah, listen, this is game management. You just went by Brunson the play before and the play after he goes by Brunson. So you have the chance to do that and create every time. They were worried about his drive. That's why he backed up. So it's a great opportunity for you to drive and kick. I thought that was actually reminiscent of the game. To start the game, the Warriors were driving and kicking, and the ball was moving. Towards the end of the game, especially in that second half, in the second quarter, especially when they started turning the ball over, they started to go for the shots, started taking, ill-advised passes. Those are the things the Warriors can work on. That's where you can teach this young guy.
I agree with both of you. I felt like Podz earned the right to take that shot.
Earned the
way
right.
he was playing in that basketball game against the New York Knicks.
Earned the right to take that shot.
So.
Assuming you want the conclusion favorable to the Warriors, since this is for Warriors Nation News. Warriors Nation News, Dub Nation, let me hit you with this right now. When a team is missing Stephen Curry for the rest of the road trip, still without Seth Curry, waiting on Al Horford to be reevaluated, and trying to survive game after game with a patched-up rotation, what do you call it when that same team still keeps showing flashes that make you believe? Aha, you call it a warning to the rest of the league. Because even in the middle of all this chaos, the Warriors are still finding storylines that matter, and the biggest one right now is simple. Kristaps Porzingis being available is a huge deal for Golden State at exactly the right time. The Warriors have officially said Steph will remain out for the rest of this trip. Seth is still out, and Horford will be reevaluated after the trip. But Porzingis is available, and that changes the conversation immediately because this team desperately needs size, rim protection, and another front court weapon while it tries to stay alive in the West. And that is why I keep coming back to this question. Are the Warriors just surviving, or are they quietly building something more dangerous than people realize? Yeah, because the loss to the Knicks hurt, no doubt, but it also revealed something important. Golden State jumped out to a 21-point lead at Madison Square Garden before falling 110-107, and that game showed the fight, the energy, and the nerve still living inside this roster even without its biggest stars. Warriors.com's recap made it clear they were shorthanded, and still they pushed a top opponent to the edge in one of the league's loudest buildings. Now here's where it gets really interesting, because the young guys are not just filling minutes anymore, they're creating real hope. Brandin Podziemski has been on a tear. Quentin Post just had one of his strongest outings before landing back on the injury report. And Gary Payton II has been giving this team that gritty, chaos energy spark that every Warriors fan loves. The Warriors' own coverage and pregame discussion around this stretch highlighted how Podziemski and Post helped shock the Knicks early, while GP2 kept bringing impact plays and pressure on both ends. Let's talk about Porzingis again, because this is the piece that could swing the mood of this whole stretch. Has already highlighted that he scored his first 20-point game as a Warrior in his first start with the team, and that matters way beyond one stat line. It means Golden State may finally have another source of length, spacing, and interior presence that can keep the offense from becoming too predictable while Steph is out. That is massive. Whew! This team has needed size, needed a paint threat, needed more rim protection. And if Porzingis gets his rhythm, you are suddenly looking at a Warriors team that can stay competitive now and get much more dangerous later. And listen, Dub Nation, I know the frustration is real. 4 straight losses sting, blowing big leads sting, watching late game possessions without Steph out there sting. But the current Warriors story is not just about what they lost, it is about what they are revealing. They are revealing toughness. They are revealing which young players are ready for bigger pressure. They are revealing who can keep firing without fear. They are revealing that Steve Kerr still has a group willing to scrap, even when the roster looks like musical chairs night after night. Aha! That matters in March. It matters a lot. And the schedule does not stop. Warriors.com had Golden State going right into Washington on March 16, so there is no time for this team to sit around feeling sorry for itself. They have to keep punching, keep adjusting, keep squeezing value out of every possession until Steph gets back. So here's my read, loud and clear. The Warriors are battered, yes, but they are not broken, not even close. With Draymond back, with Porzingis available, with Podziemski growing, with GP2 bringing that edge, and with Steph still looming as the return that can reset the entire identity of this team, I still believe Golden State has enough fight to make noise. Maybe it won't be pretty, maybe it won't be smooth, but this group still has life, and in the NBA, that is all you need before one run changes everything. Yeah, that is why I'm still riding with the Warriors. Now I want to hear from you. Do you believe Porzingis can be the difference maker that helps hold this team together until Steph returns? Or do the Warriors need even more from the young guys right now? Drop your opinion in the comments, hit like, subscribe to Warriors Nation News, and stay locked in, because Dub Nation always gets louder when the pressure gets heavier.